Okay, welcome everybody who's just tuning in. We are going to get underway with the semifinal match of Team G versus Team E. We're currently in the draft phase for Game 1. The semifinals will be played in a best-of-3 format, and then after this, we should shortly have the grand finals. Anyways, for this tournament so far, we've been seeing a lot of Vox and a lot of Gwen. That seems to be the laners of choice from the games I've spectated and also the games I've played. Blue team going with the Sky ban. They must know their opponent is quite familiar with the Sky Idris ban from red team. If they run Cruel Vox, I wonder who they're gonna run as their captain. Grace. With the Captain Grace, ask it to be. It depends on who they pick for their jungler. Not sure about the Koshka, or the Taka. So I'm not feeling the Taka pick from red team here. Taka does not do necessarily well against a Grace after level 6, and Cruel just lives forever, and both Taka and Gwen are bursty heroes. So, unfortunately, it's going to be quite the pain to kill them. But here we go. Loading into our first match of the day. We have Team G on the blue side and Team E on the red side. Let's make sure my information is correct. Yes. I think. If not, whatever. That's okay. Alright. Load it in. Already messed up the camera angle. But that's okay. No pings out by either team. This is very serious. Unfortunately, the game audio is not coming up. I could fix that. I should have tested that before I started the stream, but that was okay. I will just have to proceed. Early harassment from blue team's captain. No surprise. Pretty standard start, and as far as 3v3s have been going, and this Grace is doing ridiculous amounts of damage. For boots and a heart. That's okay. I think she'll get away. Perfect. So pretty standard start. This contest over the Treant is going to be quite interesting, as I feel blue team's level 2 fight is going to be a lot better than red team's. But here they're pulling it anyways, and it would appear that Taka got the Treant. This commentating is very hard. Cruel trying to go in using his passive, but Grace and the whole entire blue team is too low. Taka is getting in a little too deep. He's slowed. He's trying to make a play. Oh, but they just need to get out of there. Run away. Oh, there's no trade kill, and it looks like he's gonna get the up. It's gonna be an early 3-0 for blue team. That was a cleanly played fight, as I called myself. So blue team was able to 3-0. They stole away the Treant, and this Cruel wasn't going to take a chance getting the bears. The Gwen's opting to go get a book first for lifesteal. I'm not sure about that build. Grace just going in with some harass. Taka being greedy, going for the Treant. So pretty standard stuff after the intenseness of the level 2 fight. Taka and Gwen don't hit their burst until mid game, so that wasn't going to be a favorable fight for them in the first place. And I apologize again for the lack of audio. Just poking, going around. Nothing too serious. Taka's in the enemy jungle, stealing away Cruel's camps. But I don't know if they'll meet or if Cruel will see him. I think Cruel sees him. Oh no, now Taka's in trouble. Grace is coming down as well. Arden's coming. Good shield from Arden. And it looks like he's going to get away. Not enough damage quite yet. It looks like Gwen's having a little hard time CSing under tower. And that Vox is just doing crazy damage. Looks like they were able to secure their own treant. And then they're resetting. Gwen playing it very risky. She still has her potion. Oop. Oh. Alright, nothing to worry about here. That skin. Oh my goodness. That Vox. This is the first time I've seen that Vox skin in game. It's pretty impressive to say the least. Arden face checking the brush into a full health Grace. Hopefully Gwen could just clear this wave and back in time. Vox is backing. He's going crystal power. He gets an aftershock first. Cruel just still doing his rounds, trying to farm up, get level 6 so he can hit his power spike. But Taka going for the invade again. Unfortunately, this Grace is definitely putting down lots of damage. Holy smokes. That Grace does too much damage for this low level. All she has is she's going for Fountain. Gwen opting to go Tension Bow first. Pretty standard Gwen build. Looks like she's going for the burst rather than like a Sorrow Blade. Personally, I don't think a Tension Bow build Gwen is optimal against Cruel and Grace because you can't necessarily burst them down due to the Grace. But we'll have to see if this plays out for her. I think Breaking Point would have been the better choice, like Sorrow Blade Breaking Point, because the Breaking Point stacks are really going to help against the continue long fights. Alright, Grace is going in. She gets the 2-man knockup. Taka completely ignoring the Grace and going for the Vox, but the Vox lives due to the Grace's Fountain and Potion. So, pretty close fight, but fortunately, Grace did finish the Fountain pretty early. She's still only level 4, unlike her counterpart who's level 5. Oh my goodness. I take everything back about the Tension Bow Gwen build, and she hits the stun on the Grace. That was an amazing double kill. And it would appear Cruel's trying to avenge his teammates by getting Taka, but Taka's able to escape safely. They're going to get some decent tower damage off. And this is really important for Red Team because they're going to start scaling late game. But I think they'll be able to take this tower and hopefully only one of them will fall. Ooh, there's a little miscommunication on who's going to last hit that. Cruel trying to go for the Gwen. Taka goes in with the XanXos. Taka jumping over some of the damage, but unfortunately Cruel was able to lifesteal off his B. I think they're going to be able to pick up the Ardent there. Yes, they'll be able to pick up the Ardent. CP Vox does a lot more damage with his passive, so that's something I gotta keep remembering. This Gwen was overstaying, trying to defend her tower, and unfortunately will pay for her life with it. Gwen should just let the tower go, as now they'll be able to get the tower regardless and pick up a kill. Taka was trying to avenge his fallen teammate, but it did not work out so well. Vox being a little greedy, Vox is being extremely greedy, trying to take enemy jungle while both his teammates backed. Never mind, lol. I didn't see what you said first, Angel. I'm sorry. Okay, back to the clear. Vox is going to push out this wave. Hopefully he doesn't overstay. It would appear that red team is more interested in getting their jungle and shop than catching out the Vox. See that both tier 1 towers have been destroyed, so this really opens up the entire map, and like we officially enter into the mid game, and it gives both teams a lot of room to work with, and it also gives it increases the likeliness of overextending. But unfortunately, red team's lacking in vision, and I don't think they have knowledge. Oh, well, they do now. Grace going in, gets a one-man knock up on Ardent. Unfortunately, the Cruel ultimate connects with the Ardent. Taka, completely ignoring the rest of the team, goes straight in for Vox. While Gwen is chunking damage over Cruel, Cruel is able to get Fountain back to full health. Ardent goes down. And it's just miscommunication between the focus of red team. Unable to capitalize on any of the low health heroes. But now Gwen shouldn't be staying this long. Vox is going to be able to clean her up if his team wasn't jungling, maybe. Blue team's just going to choose to go for the Crystal Sentry since they don't have enough tower push capabilities. That was really unfortunate for red team. Taka was going too far in on the Vox while Gwen was bursting down Cruel, and then Cruel was able to get off his B and just lifesteal and neglect Gwen's burst ability. So red team needs to really focus on one hero if they want to get it through these fights and even make it to the late game. But as of right now, this is between now and about 15 minutes. It's going to be when red team's strongest, just because they have 2 burst heroes, Taka and Gwen. But Ardent's starting to put down some vision for red team, but unfortunately Grace is popping it. That was a little greedy shot by from Ardent while his team's in lane pushing. I don't know how this fight's going to play out, if they're going to just dip out or push the tower. This is pretty smart considering they're already in a bad position. I guess they could have backed, but taking a tier 2 tower and hopefully only losing 1. Let's hope for a great escape. Ooh, Gwen. Ooh, that was super close. And they both get out, so that was that was super smart. It was also super stupid, but it worked out for them. They were able to get the tier 2 tower, only losing their captain. But now blue team's on the hunt for some kills. Taka and Gwen both using their ultimates on the Grace, but Grace still has her ultimate. Vox's ultimate's coming up in 3 seconds, so I don't know about this fight for red team. However, they are fighting around the Crystal Sentry, so it makes it safer essentially for them. A fight out in the open for red team, or not around Crystal Miner would not be smart. But anyways, Taka going on the Gwen. A little miscommunication again, as in Gwen's trying to focus down Cruel, but unfortunately is unable to take him out. Taka going back in, but immediately gets bursted down by the CP Vox, which is pretty devastating. Gwen able to dodge the Grace knockup. Ardent ult to get away. Hopefully they can pick up this Cruel, but unfortunately Grace is able to Fountain just in time, and I think Cruel will get out of here, and it will cost Gwen and Ardent their life. Slowly, maybe. That ended up working out quite well for blue team. What an amazing blind ace. That was very greedy of Cruel. Did want to back in the brush. Taka is out for blood, but unfortunately goes the wrong way. So, looking at the scoreboard, in very tiny numbers, even though it is 11-4, red team still has 4 towers, and they were able to maintain within 300 gold. So this is relatively even in terms of gold and items, but Gwen finally picking up the breaking point, and it looks like she's going for a Tyrant's Monocle over getting an Aegis, which is questionable because the reflex block could really help because she's been eating these Cruel ultimates. And Okay, Gwen going in. Nothing to really capitalize off of as it is Ardent. So what blue team's looking for, blue team's win condition is just to continue to get these open fights that aren't around tower or while they're tanking. Gwen going in, Taka XanXos on the Vox again, but a little miscommunication between the team because Gwen is unable to focus anybody but the Gwen. Gwen is unable to focus anybody but the Grace. There's too many G's in this game. A fountain is popped. Amazing reflex block from the Gwen knockup. Or Grace knockup. It would appear that Taka is on the hunt. This is a good pickup. Double kill. And they should essentially be able to take out the Grace and pick up the ace. Take the gold miner. Gwen should go back and get the farm, which is good to save the tower, while Taka and gold miner. Taka and Ardent are getting the gold mine. My goodness, casting is hard. Forgive me. This is like the first time I've ever attempted to cast anything, so this is pretty good practice, as it's on the spot and impromptu, and I have not prepared. And I wish I had. Oh, I do have water. Okay, while things die down, hopefully, let's look at the scoreboard. Well, I get a drink of water because, my goodness. Alright, Ardent finally able to regain some vision now that blue team's going to be a little more cautious about taking their fights now, considering they just lost the last one. But that team fight essentially could have gone quite well for blue team because they fought in such a small corridor. I don't think they know that they're in the bush ahead of them. Taka's still kind of far behind, so I don't know if red team should take this fight immediately. Everybody has their ultimates up. Grace has done an excellent job of maintaining vision for blue team and really clearing out Ardent's attempts at vision. But here we go, another fight looks like it's about to start out. Grace goes in. Gwen starts building her breaking point stacks on the Grace, but immediately turns to the Cruel. Taka waiting patiently to go in on the Vox. Oh, he goes in on the Cruel. Perfect. This is good. Oh, Gwen missed her aces high, but ends up hitting the Grace. Grace gets her ultimate off regardless. Fountain's a little early from Ardent, and I don't think they'll be... Oh, wow, they're able to clean up this kill. Hopefully if Gwen could keep cutting back and not play greedy, get the double kill. Taka should be able to clean up this kill for the ace, unless Cruel is able to... Nope. Alright. Woo, what an ace from red team. Impressive. Alright, this team fights are not going the way I thought they should. I feel like blue team definitely has the upper hand with Vox ultimate, but it would appear that there's a little struggle to stay close to his team. Vox is scared of Taka, as he should be. This Taka is destroying Kraken. This is pretty quick, but of course it's going to be... Okay, good. He was able to secure it, but I don't think it will cost him his life. Thankfully, Grace is over here to protect his retreat, and that's the Kraken pickup for red team. Taka's a little low, and they don't have the Ardent, but they're going to try and take the fight anyways. Hopefully, it's not going to go in their favor. And at least Gwen's the only one who took... Where's our Ardent? Alright, Ardent's in here. He was apparently deciding what to buy. Luckily, Vox and Cruel are pretty fast at taking down Kraken, so they won't get punished too hard for this. While that's happening, Taka's just clearing his jungle, and they should be able to... Ooh, close. Almost able to save the tower, but unfortunately the Kraken ends up pushing it down, so the potential throw from Gwen and Taka trying to fight 2v3 with half health, Kraken minimize their loss here. I'm going to start being a little lazier with my observing controls here. Gwen's backing, Arden's just laying down vision, but unfortunately this Grace has been on point with clearing red team vision. Hopefully, it seems that Arden might be having some disconnect problems because he seems to be stopping. But the next fight, everybody has everything up. Everybody has ultimates. The only thing we're missing is boots, but nope. Alright, so next team fight's going to be pretty explosive. Everybody has everything up, and it looks like this is going to be a bad fight for red team. If they fight in this corridor, they need to be out in the open, and this is a lot better. This is more favorable for them. Arden's looking... Oh, Cruel threw back the ultimate. He's going in. It does not connect with anybody. Taka goes in on the Vox while Gwen's being focused down by Grace. Grace is still able to get off Vox's heal. Huge miscommunication between red team. Blue team able to secure the Gwen, and they should be able to pick up the Taka as well. But he is too slippery. That was miscommunication on red team's part. They got a little anxious from the team fight as it is getting into the later part of the game. This is where their damage is starting to fall off, because if red team cannot initiate the fight with the tools they have to be able to pick people off and burst them down really quickly, then Cruel will just be able to heal back all the damage given out to him. So this is a reset for blue team. They're gonna try and take the Kraken. Taka's hanging around, hopefully make the steal. Taka focusing the Vox, but immediately gets turned around on, and I don't think he'll be able to do this out of this team. But this is gonna be good conditions for red team. But unfortunately, Cruel gets up. Cruel's ultimate connects on the Gwen. The reflex is a little late. Ardent with the fountain. Hopefully they can turn around and get the Cruel. Okay, red team's able to pick up the Cruel. Vox dashes in, a little mispositioning by him, but is able to clean up the kill anyway. CP Vox putting in work for his team, 10-3. They're not opting to get the Kraken. They're just going to push this wave and potentially... Yeah, it would appear they just chose to push the wave. They won't be able to get tower here, though, because of Taka's annoyance. But they still have 17 seconds, so I guess I spoke too soon. Alright, so that is tier 3 tower. Both teams are quite even. 4K behind, 4K lead for blue team. And it's only gonna get worse from here because Cruel is nearing... Well, he has full build besides his boots. Vox is at full build. Gwen's at full build. So it's getting pretty close to max. We're going to start seeing potions coming out and whatnot. Ardent's putting down some vision, defensive vision. This next fight, everybody will have everything up. Gwen clearing it, Grace clearing it immediately. Vox is playing a little forward. That makes me a little nervous, but hopefully they're forcing the issue. Grace going in. Vox immediately mispositioning. The Cruel ultimate does not connect. Taka's holding out the Vox, but who's going to get who faster? Gwen barely living with a sliver of health, but Cruel doesn't hit Ardent Wall. Cruel going down to the Crystal Sentry. Taka not able to take out the Vox. Ardent's coming up to assist. Hopefully he'll be able to dash over him, and Taka gets the kill. That's a shutdown, and that is impressive. Oh my goodness. That is very impressive. Unfortunately, Grace without her team is only able to sit back and wait. Hopefully she'll be able to do some damage after Kraken's gotten lower, just to be annoying, make the pressure of the Kraken. 24 seconds cooldown on her teammate, while Gwen only has 16, so Gwen's going to come up a lot sooner. And this isn't... If red team gets the ace and they'll get the Kraken. This is looking too good for blue team. 53-second respawn on the Grace. After red team secures this Kraken, they'll be able to full push, and the lane's pushing in their favor. So this is looking pretty. This is looking pretty grim for blue team. I think if they're able to communicate the team fight properly, they might have a chance. And thank you, Anti-Luxious, for the follow. I appreciate it greatly. Going in 2v3 without their Grace was not ideal, and they're gonna pay the price as red team goes on to win game 1. And thank you for everybody tuning in to the Vainglory Community Tournament's first event. Unfortunately, I am not a caster, and I decided to do this out of last minute, no prep time, because I thought it would be a great opportunity to get some in the field practice. And this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But this is going to be a best of 3. Red team goes in to win game 1. So Team G versus Team E, right? Let me check my notes that I have not set up. All right, so Team E takes game 1. It was pretty close. Team G definitely had the lead in the beginning. They even have the lead towards the end, but some miscommunication of focus and some poor choices of areas to team fight in unfortunately cost them a game, and just goes to show that even though red team struggled between the mid game and struggled in the mid game during the power spike, they were still able to retain their focus and end up closing out the game. So I think we're gonna immediately go into game 2. I will update this now. Let's add. Let's make this a little more professional. Nope. Alright. Team 1. Add new source. Oof. Alright. Alright, going into the draft phase, let me set this up. Team G. Let's find a nice clean font here. Or I'm just going to use my font I always use. Transform, center on screen. What's going on here? Done. Sorry, I'm trying to get the score on screen, but miraculously... Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Alright. Team G. 0. Let's duplicate. Team 2. Text. Team 2. Team 2. Go down. Team 2. Good. Properties. Team 2. This is actually Team E is 1. Oh, my hotkeys. Hello. There we go. All right. Saved. Alright, look at that. Ooh, okay, so this is a very interesting draft, quite different from the last one. Team E opting for the Captain Finn. Finn's not necessarily amazing this patch, but it is good to see my boy Finn back in the rotation. We got a Weapon Power Alpha and then a CP Idris. CP Idris used to be one of the highest damaging Crystal Power late game carries in general, so this should be quite explosive from the blue team. It would appear that Team G is able to get their comfort picks again, except for switching it up with the Rona. I like this the Rona a lot more against blue team specific team comp. But we're getting into game 2 with Team E leading 1-0. So let's see if Team G is able to get a good start again and hopefully be able to capitalize off of it this time. Thanks again for tuning into the stream. It would appear Finn is face checking the brush. I think he's accepted his fate. Even though he pops his fountain, I'm not sure that was a good idea. But now Team G will be able to get clear. Unfortunately, Grace is going down. Team G needs to focus down somebody. And this is kind of turned around on them. Now they're taking an unfavorable trade. Alpha's going to barely live. And it's 2-1. Alright, now it's 2-2. Vox is still hanging on by just a thread, but isn't able to close it out. 3-2 start. That was pretty crazy, but just kidding. Grace comes out of nowhere from downtown with an amazing A. And is able to pick up the kill on Finn, thus evening the game. But unfortunately, blue team, even though they did not come out ahead in this because Alpha's jungle is now not up, and Rona's able to finish up and get a full clear on hers. So it ends up working out in the end for the red team. Standard harass going on. I'm not sure if Alpha's going to go up, but it appears she finally spots Rona doing the treant, but Rona's still able to secure what she started. Alpha's passive isn't up yet, so this is quite dangerous for her. And she's going to go down for being greedy and overstaying. After the treant was gone, considering her passive wasn't up and she can't dual Rona early game. Vox, the CP Vox is doing work, and they're able to pick up the kill on Idris. Maybe the switch up for blue team is going to cost them this game, but it might be too early to tell. What a very strong start for red team, as they're able to get tower damage off, and potentially there's a fight I'm not looking at, but even with the treant heal, Rona still goes down, and Grace will not be able to escape this fate either, being a little too overly eager, as they've had a dominant start, but are starting to really minimize the lead they worked very hard to get for themselves. We're going to spectate the perspective of one of our heroes while I try and fix our audio issues. So sit tight. Let there be audio. Unfortunately, the screen is frozen. You cannot see what's going on right now, but nobody's died. They're just pushing each other. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, and we have audio. Look at that. Professional stream. Okay, and we're back. They're all backing, so actually I'm going to take another swig of water. In my very unprofessional solo cast. In terms of items right now, Vox is ahead in his lane. Red team's ahead in all lanes. Just a small skirmish between the laners and the captains. Alpha coming up from the jungle while Rona proceeds to take shop and gonna go counter jungle Alpha. Rona's level 6, so Alpha running into her is not gonna be good. Ooh, Finn almost going down there, but able to get the health potion off in time. Alpha still has her passive, and Vox barely lives with like 10 HP. Oh my goodness. That was pretty risky from Red Team, considering Grace just now got her fountain. I do not know what Alpha's doing. I think she's trying to counter jungle, but she might be spot out by here. Yeah, this isn't good. This was extremely greedy by Alpha, and if she gets this kill, she missed. That didn't connect. That was weird. So she's gonna have to find a way out of this one. Ooh, I just barely not going down, but Grace might pay for her life. Checking back in, and it would appear Alpha's winning this fight against Rona. Rona opting to go breaking point first. Usually we see Rona's going Serpent's Mask. But I guess the breaking point first is to fight against Alpha and her passive. Grace getting the knock up. And Alpha living barely with the Finn's buffed health. But unfortunately we'll go down to the Vox A. Vox barely living, and lucky that Grace ended up taking aggro for him. Vox able to get out okay, so is Grace. And it looks like we're just resetting back to the lanes. Rona's level 7, Vox is level 6, and Grace is almost level 6 as well. I just finally now hitting 6. Red team ahead with about a 3k lead. Vox choosing to jungle with Rona, missing the lane XP, but Grace is there to soak it up. Finn finally putting down some visions coming out. Not a lot of vision being bought other than flares in the early game. This Grace does have a weapon blade and an energy bar, so they're looking to fight. I do not think they know they're next to each other. Face checking the brush. Grace getting the knock up on the Alpha. Rona's already low. A little misfocus. Ugh. Choking on my own words here. I don't even know what to describe. It's just complete and utter chaos. Commentating is definitely not my strong suit, but that was a pretty rocky fight by both teams. But Red team able to come out on top as they're able to get both the jungler and the carry. Finn left to just defend the lane against this push. A little miss. Grace is going to start the Treant for her box. And and Rona's just jungling. Finn being a little aggressive. So after the fight, getting another about still 3k lead, 3.5k lead. Ugh. Big yawn. Grace going in, trying to knock up the Finn, but he resists it passively. Alpha's ultimate stun up says to be very dangerous. Vox gets his ultimate off, but it's beautifully blocked by Finn's Crucible. I just immediately getting blown up by the Rona, and the Alpha going down to the Rona. That was an extremely good fight for Red Team. I just should have ulted earlier to avoid Rona getting her stacks on her ultimate, but they're going to fight without the Alpha's ultimate, so that was was not favorable, considering Alpha is weapon power after all. She needs more skirmishes rather than full-on team fights like Crystal Power Alpha. But Finn pushing back the Vox. They're just continuing to take blue team's jungle, and they're starting to develop, increasing the map pressure from red and kind of limiting blue in their space. Idris is in lane farming, so I don't know if this would be the best fight to engage on by blue team, but their ultimates are back up. Red team seems to have their ults up, and looks like they're going to make a push for the first tier tower. Builds for each. Alpha only has her sorrow play done, so she's still not at full strength yet. Idris finally getting his Dragon's Eye and Aftershock, so he's hitting his power spike pretty soon, and it appears the fight's about to break out. Rona, looking for the target of Alpha, gets pulled in by Finn, is switched to Idris. Vox getting ultimate off. Alpha going back in, but immediately gets burst down, and this is a weapon power Alpha, so her ultimate's kind of a last resort. Oop, a little bit of lag there, but it would appear the Finn's going to go down as well, and the ace for red team. They're going to push down this tier 2 tower, and then rotate down and clear the jungle. My device is apparently getting a little warm because we're experiencing low frame rates. Yep, full clear. But while they're clearing, they might they come back up just in time. Alpha's ultimate's not up yet, so this is not going to be a good fight. But that CP Idris, just so much damage, totally chunking through Grace's health. Grace is getting the ultimate off on Rona. Rona unfortunately doesn't have a target for our ultimate. Not able to keep it going, but they immediately switch and turn around to the Finn. Idris able to get out just barely, and they're going to turn around and pick up the gold miner for a team, continuing to cement their lead at about, it's going to be 8k, so 8,000 gold lead, ahead 2 towers. I do not think the Alpha is going to be good against Rona. The Idris is good because he's able to neglect her ultimate and not letting her stack it. But this Alpha is going to have a hard time getting in on Vox and sticking to him, with Grace being able to peel and knock up Alpha, and along with Rona coming in and building quite a lot of stacks. But while red team's clearing their jungle, blue team's able to get tier 1 tower, which is good for them because they really need to give themselves some breathing room and really open up the map for themselves. So not a lot of vision being bought these games, which is quite interesting. But Grace finally getting the echo, and looks like she's going for, I'm not sure, Dragon's Heart. I'm not sure where she's going to get with the Dragon's Heart, but our builds are being closer and closer to being complete. CP Vox is almost 4 complete blue items. A little out of positioning from blue team. Hopefully the rest of their team will be able to get out, but Alpha is going for the tower rather than recalling. Idris has the right idea. Unfortunately, Finn's sacrifice was in vain. But that was quite a lot of tower damage from the Alpha. And that was a lot. That wasn't enough to take it out, though, however. Ugh. Solo casting is a lot harder than I hoped. it just makes you really appreciate those with beautiful talent. Ooh, red team choosing to go for gold miner instead of turning around and pinching on blue team. Blue team not coming down to contest. They're a little overextended and out of position in here. Finn pulls the Rona onto himself. But Vox is playing a little aggressive. Alpha going, and Grace having to use both heals in an Echo to save Vox's life, but turning around. Rona stops for a recall to come in for the team fight. Alpha's low, good fountain from Finn. Rona's using her ultimate, but unfortunately Idris is able to jump away. And that was a really well played team fight for blue team, but unfortunately they're still quite behind in golden items, and they can't fight them just head on quite yet. But that was a little sloppy from red team, as Vox was going in a little too deep in the beginning, and Grace having to already use her Echo and her ultimate to save him. But Rona was able to come in and clean up the fight. And they're going to get Kraken while the ace minions push down to the tier 3 tower. So this is going to be probably the tier 3 tower from red team going down with this Kraken push, considering they have a reset here. Just clearing out the blue team's jungle, trying to deny as much gold as they can. With every tower red team destroys, it just further constricts blue team to the area, to their base, and where it's safe. Blue team has to look for a good fight here before they can do anything about the Kraken. Grace going in, the knockup gets immediately denied by the Finn stun. Alpha going in very deep for the Vox, but unfortunately she's not able to do any damage, and it gets neglected by Grace, able to heal him up in time. Tier 3 tower's going to go down to Kraken, and red team continues to push in. Just doing the best he can to poke from the outside, but biting off a little more than he can chew, and ends up paying his life for it in return. Red team really looking dominant this game compared to last game. And then they're going to go on and take game number 2 to make this a 1-1. A lot more confidence coming out from red team. The draft from blue team was a little different due to the alpha into the Rona. Wasn't the best idea. And Vox can kite alpha quite well. So blue team's really going to have to go back and find something a little better to gap close, or ban this CP Vox, which I personally think would be the appropriate thing to do. So with that, we're going to change change this to 1-1, and this is going to be game 3 of our last semifinals. Switch these around. Team E is going to have to ban this Vox. I think that the dominance that Team G showed on it is just too much. I think they're prioritizing the wrong bans here. And apparently there's a have to go soon. Alright, draft is getting underway. I am going support. Alright, we're back. And no, their Team E seems to be more afraid of them picking Idris than banning the CP Vox. I personally do not like this, but they are the ones that have made it this far in the tournament, and not myself. Ardent going out. Gwen, looks like Team E is going to go back to their original picks and roots. And I think we're going to see the Cruel potentially. I like this Cruel pick a lot better. Blackfeather would be very interesting because Blackfeather would be able to dance around Gwen quite annoyingly, making two of her damaging ability. Ooh. Wow, that was a switch and a half. So stealing away the regaining the Rona, that worked out quite well for them, and it looks like they're going to pick up the Grace again. So same team comp as last game for Team G. If it's not broke, don't fix it. It was very dominant from them. Team E changing it up a little bit with the Ardent and the Gwen and the Cruel. So this is going to be very interesting, as Cruel will be a lot better than Alpha when it comes to sticking to Vox, but Cruel against Rona is very difficult to pull off. Because he'll be giving her tons of stacks, but we'll see how that works out. So loading into our game, we're going into game number 3. After rocky game 1, Team G was able to take it, or Team E, I should say, was able to take it. And then game 2 was a complete and utter dominance from Team G after the early jungle pressure into the mid game. They really didn't drop any team fights or take any bad fights necessarily. It was pretty solid. So this game 3 is going to be hopefully different. But here we go. Finally loaded into the fold. This is our last semifinal. The winner of this will go on to grand finals. And standard start, and Ardent chose to go back and buy some flares. Oh, excuse me, that was not professional. I will try and be a lot more explosive this game with my casting. Grace going for the classic pull the tree and pretend I'm jungling it, but not really. Well, both teams clear. Rona already level 2, Vox hitting level 2 just now. So this is going to be a contest for the Treant in the middle again. Team G has been 2 for 2 in these early fights, but it would appear they're just letting this one go and recalling. Just giving them the Treant, not feeling confident, playing a lot safer this game. It's game 3 after all. And even though they showed great dominance in Game 2, they're definitely playing to win and trying to keep a level head. Ardent babysitting the lane, Grace going in, trying to push him back. Vox just pushes the wave so quickly, so what Gwen has to do here is just keep up in CS, as they're not going to be able to kill him because they don't necessarily have any hard CC. Rona clearing her jungle. Potential fight gonna unfold here because Cruel's going for the Treant. And we're lagging. But we're back. Grace going in with the Retribution. Cruel being able to get the tree and turning it around onto the Grace. Still chasing. They're still looking to pick a fight, even though it's 2v3. Arden going extremely low there and eventually gets picked up by the Vox to secure the first blood. So this, out of the 3 games, this is the latest the first blood's ever come out at 2 minutes and like 40 seconds. And a little miscommunication between red team going in very eagerly against a stronger early team fight. Okay, back to standard. Junglers clearing lanes, just poking skirmish between the roams and the laners. Gwen able to get ahead in CS actually against this Vox. This Vox is quite significantly behind. Even though he is crystal power, he still has been pressuring this lane the whole time, but is missing CS due to harass. Gwen just going in. Grace just going in for the poke damage. Cruel coming up. Ooh, Gwen's able to get the knock-up off, and I think that probably saved the life of one of them, but I don't even know what this Cruel is doing. This Cruel is lagging, or hello, Cruel? Hello? Question marks in chat. That was interesting. I'm gonna give Cruel the benefit of the doubt here, and that was definitely due to some forces outside of his control. But that's okay. Rona coming over, stealing the jungle. Grace still level 3 and is pretty low. I don't think Cruel is targeting the right person here. I feel like they should have gone for Grace in that situation, and they let them slip away with the free kill. Vox able to go back and buy. Grace has the potion, so she'll be okay. Plus, this Crystal Sentry is here, so this is not going to be a smart fight for Red Team if they continue to push the issue here. Sorry for the frame drops here. Looks like we're going to have to reset after this game. That CB Vox just does so much damage, but unfortunately is very squishy. Red Team waiting very patiently. Rona is still jungling, and Grace finally joining her Vox to relieve him of the pressure. Some time wasted there, but this Gwen backing a little too close to the enemy team. She's going to live though because she has her potion up. Finally level 6 for Gwen, and she is ahead 9 CS. Ooh, really playing it risky here, Gwen. Feeling confident with her potion, but is able to get out anyways. Unfortunately, Vox is still waiting on one more item before he could start doing his big damage. Grace surviving the tower, getting tons of tower damage off from Vox, but they're not able to close out the tower. Rona overstaying, and it's going to not cost her life because she saves her potion very greedily. And Cruel going in way too early, a little late. Fountain from Ardent unable to save his life, but the Vox gets turned around and smacked. Oh my goodness. Two weapon power here versus Team E. You are right. I think they'll be able to pick up this tier 1 tower if they ignore the Grace. Gwen beautifully dodging the knockup, and they got it. But now they have to escape with their lives. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Gwen, this game, instead of going Tension Bow, goes Sorrow Blade, so she's been listening to the cast. Okay, back to standard for blue team. Gwen clearing out these lanes. Vox is looking to build an alternating current as his next item. Let's take a look at the items real quick after we see... Nah, nothing's going to happen here. So here's the item build so far. It would Rona went Sorrow Blade first, which is quite expensive. No Serpent's Mask each Rona game, so... opting for Insane Burst over and using the Grace to heal her up rather than self-sustain. Gwen going into solo defend this tower, but luckily will live. Grace getting off her ultimate. Cruel focusing down the run and he immediately dies. Now it's just a matter of chasing. Good ultimate, good angle for Ardent. That was impressive. But unfortunately, Vox is going to just live in that dodge. My goodness. That Vox on Ice has swagger. If that was not Vox on Ice, he would have not dodged that. That was an amazing dodge or a horrific miss from Gwen. Either way you want to look at it. But it's a 1-0 team fight in favor of red team, and they're able to pick up the gold miner, maybe. Yeah, okay, they're able to pick up the gold miner. Grace going in, but unfortunately her teammate is pushing the lane and not coming back to help. Rona misses her jump. This Vox is going to be caught out here. I think if Gwen Q, yeah, alright. Is Vox out of position, choosing to farm his lane over. Dodges that as well. But if he gets autoed from this Crystal Sentry, he's gonna. That was boo. Never do that. He shouldn't have lived there, and that didn't happen. He didn't get out. That was dumb, and that makes me upset as a carry, because if that was me, that would definitely not be my. That I would definitely not have been able to escape. I would have got autoed by that Crystal Sentry, been slowed, and it would have been over. That was very risky, but I guess we move on. Luckily for them, this does give them the chance to kind of regain their ground. Both tier 1 towers done. A little bit slower pace game for game 3. Both teams playing a little more reserved and not taking as many head-on team fights blindly. Ardent doing an excellent job with the vision. And Grace coming up for this next team fight. Grace going in, getting the knock-up on 3. The breaking point. Crucible's a little late, but Cruel's just barely able to live. Gwen's Aces High connects, but she's really low. And that was a little. I don't even know. I'm not able to keep up with this game. Tier 2 tower going down for blue team, or going down for red team in favor of blue. They're going to take some of Cruel's jungle, and they're going to attempt to back out. Unfortunately, the Aces High did hit the Grace, and the block from Ardent, the Crucible from Ardent did come out a little late, and Grace was able to get her knock up. That's how Vox was able to get his ultimate off, and then Rona was just had no CC against her, so she was able to continue to go ham. Looking for the pick, but Vox backing off, so it's not going to happen. Vox is quite slippery, even though Cruel does have his ultimate back up. Oh no. Alright. Potential team fight starting to break out, but it seems they're just starting to dance around the gold miner in between the lanes. They're kind of at this awkward point where each team doesn't necessarily want to fight without their ultimates. Ardent's ultimate's just such a long timer. I don't think they should take and engage without it. Grace Retribution going in, getting the knock up on only the Ardent. Cruel ultimate connecting the Vox, but no one's able to capitalize off of it. They're just a little too far away. And with ultimates down, I don't think this is going to be a good fight for red to take. But Gwen getting her breaking point stacks off in the back. Rona jumping in, immediately getting healed. Good fountain from Ardent saving his team's life. But there's team fight's not over. Gwen's trying to get a health buff in the middle of the team fight. Drops her stacks, and unfortunately Ardent's going to go down. But with this Crystal Sentry, they had a chance. Ooh, that was a lot of burst damage from the Cruel. Gwen chasing, but Rona's going to be able to no. Oh, interesting. Unfortunately for blue team, that turned out quite horrific. And what was a good fight from the lack of ultimates from red and the miscommunication from red. Blue team still doesn't come out on top due to the crystal miner and not able to burst down Gwen in time. Gwen's being extremely risky in that she's invading with half health and her teammates are nowhere near her, but somehow picks up the Grace. Amazingly enough, gets but it cost her and Ardent getting slowed, but nothing will come of it further. Cruel is just gonna continue to take Drona's jungle, and I am going to continue to take a drink of water. Holy. A 4-on-1 from the Gwen. Coco's having a decent game. Is arching the stream. Watching this. Maybe. This Gwen is continuing to rely on her B to escape from these scary situations and still hasn't bought any defense items, but it seems to be turning out well because this extra damage is really helping. Closing this. Another team fight breaking out immediately. Cruel focusing the Vox in the back line. Gwen able to get her breaking point stacks, but unfortunately gets her ultimate off on the Grace. Crucible comes out really late. Grace healing herself. Still has the Echo. Has a second heal, using it on Vox. Cruel going extremely low, but lives because of the Crucible shield and the Fountain. Rona backing off even though she was stacked on top of two people. Not the correct choice. Ugh. Gwen able to secure the kill, but is going to end up going down. Vox with a pretty decent double kill. Rona, ooh. Wow, that was surprisingly even to what turned out to be a bad situation. As you can see, the tension and the nerves. The tension and the nerves seem to be getting to our contestants here. Because both teams missing what would potentially be easy things to punish and capitalize upon. But it's a lot easier to say that from the commentator's desk than while in game. I do apologize for my lack of quality in terms of commentary, as this is the first time I've ever casted, ever. And I am not prepared. I think that red team, I guess not willing to try and force something by drawing aggro from Kraken. So the Kraken dance has begun. 16 minutes in. Gwen's going to go up and push the lane. Vox nearing full build. Opting to get armor over reflex block, relying on Grace's Crucible. That is faith in teammate right there. Red coming around to pinch. Blue team does not have any idea that Red's here. They have no vision. The only vision on this entire map is the solo scout trap from Ardent. But Grace is going to face check into the three heroes. Reflex block is used. Amazing Crucible to save Gwen's life. Gwen gets a good aces high off on Rona. Vox being focused by the Cruel, and Gwen is going to have barely any health, but immediately bursts down. Vox with her empowered auto attack. Ace going to red team, and they're going to secure the Kraken. That was quite the fight. That was really close. It was amazing gauntlet from Ardent being able to protect his Gwen from the Rona. This Rona is going in and getting great positioning, but she's playing a little too scared. She backs out a little too early, and she's not utilizing spinning on people and regaining stacks. She's backing out too early, and it's costing her and her team the fight. If she stays in a little bit longer, she'll put a little more pressure, and then Vox is barely living to this Cruel. This Cruel is unable to kill this Vox solo. He tends to be living each time due to the Grace ultimates. Okay, tier 2 tower push. Blue team needs to play this right. We're lagging hardcore, but that's okay. We're back in the fight. Middle of the fight. Gwen's aces high misses. The Crucible coming out. Ooh, that was an insane amount of burst damage. The ultimate coming out on Vox. The double ultimate coming out on Vox with the fountain. Grace really healing her team back up to full. Totally neglecting all the damage that was just done right there. Ardent going to be trying to delay for time for the Kraken, but unfortunately we'll get slowed by the Crystal Sentry. And this is looking like a tier 3 tower out of this fight. So 2 heroes down, but they do get the tier 3 tower out of it. That was a pretty decent fight considering the circumstances for blue team. A little sloppy fight from red because Grace is able to get her full heal combo off. Like, she did everything perfectly there, and Rona was more confident, and by sticking to the team, she kept her stacks and was able to continue to go in. I do not like that this Rona is going for a 3rd damage item over at least an Aegis or another defense item, making her quite squishy considering this team has a lot of lockdown potential when their ultimates are up, such as the Cruel ult and the Gwen ult. But if blue team is able to get the jump on red team, it will totally turn out in their favor. This is a pretty good fight. Early ultimate coming out from Grace. Grace echoes the ultimate. Gwen's extremely low, just throws her aces high back to peel for her team, and red team's going back, resetting and healing. This gives blue team time to clear red jungle and develop vision, which they do not buy because vision is not important. I see some double weapon power lulls in chat. Double weapon power, it's kind of working. This is definitely the closest game. And considering this is mostly solo players entering the tournament with a random team, they are not tilting for game 3, in which they got stomped game 2. Gwen securing the treant from over the wall. Kraken now up. The Kraken dance is what's going on here? Oh my goodness, immediate lag into the ultimate. Fox gets the silence off only on the Cruel. Gwen's aces high connects to the Rona. Rona going extremely low, but Grace able to get her ultimate off. Echoes. Rona barely living. Not able to secure the kill on Rona. And triple kill for the CP Vox. That was an amazing team fight for blue team. Rona was able to live with just barely any HP and misfocus and pushing Gwen back there, thus allowing them to turn around on Cruel, taking him out, eliminating him from the fight, and then it was just a matter of cleanup from then on. Game 1 went to Team G. I lied. Game 1 went to Team E. Game 2 went to Team G in a dominant fashion. It was like a 9k gold lead. And then this is the closest game of the 3 in terms of items, in terms of team fights, and the maps still opened up for both teams. I'm not sure how much they'll be able to get off this Kraken push. Rona is still pretty far away from the rest of her team. It looks like red team's just going back, potting up, getting ready to take this next team fight. This potentially will go one of two ways. What red team is looking for is a good initiation and a good engage. They need to get an ace, and they need to go for the team fight over killing Kraken. They won't be able to rush it down, but the Cruel ultimate connects on the Vox. Gwen being pushed back by the Rona, but Rona runs away and peels for her Vox. Vox is desperately trying to get away. Grace ultimate gets off. Vox now back to full strength. And blue team back at full strength. That was an amazing gauntlet from Arden. Able to keep his Gwen alive, but the Vox ultimate's going to take Gwen out. And Cruel switched back targets from Grace to Vox. Vox is not going to be able to win this fight because of the lifesteal. He's kiting. He's skating. He's swooping. He's swerving. But it's just not enough. Kraken's still chunking away. Ardent needs to live this. Ooh, he's lucky none of the minions aggroed him. They need to quickly get in on that Kraken kill and ignore... I lied. They need to get the Grace so they can get the Ace. Grace, Ace, Kraken. Flowchart. Woo! There we go. Alright. Red team just barely hanging on! This is tournament point! Oh, Sean, God bless you for the 4 months of sub. Are these people esports? These people are this is the Vainglory community tournament, and these people are definitely the best in both. All regions are playing. I'm pretty sure all of our current contestants in this game are from North America, but everybody's tier 10 and above. And unfortunately for you, Sean, this resub, you did not get to hear my horrific new subscription sound, which I am so happy to show off. If they do go double weapon, I don't necessarily think they need to win by 15 minutes. I do understand that it really is close, but that was quite some damage put off. They really need to switch focus and just kill this Grace so she can't get any more healing off. Rona jumping and getting her ultimate off. She's so speedy. A double gauntlet coming out. Her attack speed still by Gwen, but still able to pick up the Rona. Good block by Grace to get through the gauntlet. Cruel living with just barely an HP, but able to get a reset on his passive and get enough speed to make his way all the way over to Vox. Red team getting the ace. Gonna be able to close out this game. Red team going to grand finals of the Vainglory community tournament. And that was a very good series. That was probably the best series of this entire tournament. Red team looking like very confident. I was very doubtful in the draft because they did not ban the box, but unfortunately for blue team, this ends their tournament run, getting officially, I believe, third place. So at the end of the day, we have Team E moving on to grand finals. Thank you for everybody tuning in today to the Vainglory Community Tournament. I am your host, Matt, or my tag is Mawthu. GG's for everybody. Alright, I'm going to figure out